Hi, and I'm Dave Owens, Garden Guy. Hey guys, there's lots going on in the garden, but before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about, well, scorpions. I've been getting a lot of emails on it. Folks, you've got to go out there and start hunting them down with these black lights. That's the best way to get rid of them. And make sure you go out on your block walls out there, because that's really where they like to be. They like to hang out on the block walls outside, and of course, on your walls and ceilings on the inside. Another thing I use is these tent traps right here. These are really lethal on those different types of scorpions we've got out here, and especially around any type of water source. So make sure you go out there, around your kitchens, your sinks, anywhere you've got water, including your bathrooms, put them underneath those areas. They will invariably find these areas. They feel fairly protected in there, and they will work it out as almost like a home. So they'll invariably go up into those. And last but not least, we want to make sure that we've got some of that food grade diatomaceous earth. This is going to wipe out their food supply. So it's food grade diatomaceous earth. We put it on with these little applicators. It doesn't take much. In fact, less than that around all the baseboards in your house, outside and inside, will work out real well. Now, what are we planting right now? Well, of course, those different types of lavenders right now. Lavenders work out great. Why? Because of the fact they push off a lot of different types of insects throughout your garden areas. So you want to make sure that you actually what we call biodiverse in your garden, or companion plant. And the more types of plants you put in your garden, the less pests you're going to have in your garden. Some other things, rosemary do especially well during these hot times that we've got right now. And of course, some others, well, corn will work out fantastic. Now, when you plant corn, you want to make sure you plant it in different types of groups. And 10 by 10 squares are your perfect situation, because of the fact that they get a lot of their pollination from wind, not from insects. So you've got have a lot of corn out there to actually go ahead and produce a lot of corn. Some other things, some of your squashes are going in right now. Your eggplants are going in right now. These are all plants that will require some afternoon shade. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, Bobby, go on up. You can see our afternoon shade right up there. That's an a western exposure. And what happens, we get that eastern sun early in the morning, western shade right above us, and it really works out to allow us to plant a lot of these different types of plants, especially during these hot periods that we get during the summer times. And it kind of lengthens out those seasons. Some other things, some of your sweet potato vines. One of my favorite. In fact, sweet potato vines are something that grow out in our gardens, and we use them as what we call a living type mulch, because the more mulch we've got on the ground, we can cool that soil down, and by cooling it down by up to 20 to 30 degrees sometimes with enough mulch on the soil, it's going to go a long ways toward, again, elongating those seasons. Some of the other things we're going ahead and growing is some of your watermelon. You can see it right here, and this is another type of living mulch, and we've got it growing out throughout the garden out here, and it works out fantastic in our areas where we've got to companion plant a lot of our different types of plants where we need that cooling type exposure. Right behind it is a perfect example. You can see a lot of different types of plants back there, and all these plants are what we call companion plants. They grow, and it's very densely planted. The more densely your foliage, the better off your garden's going to be, and the more different types of plants, the better off your garden's going to be. Of course, you want to go ahead and make sure you've got plenty of mulch on the ground. Something we put in our gardens is a lot of this different types of mulch. We put this on top of the soil. We don't work it into the soil. By working it into the soil, we're going to have a nitrogen type draft. So putting it on top of the soil about 3 to 4 inches deep is the ideal situation. Now, this is western cedar bark, and this actually detracts a lot of insects. And in fact, it will go so far as to repel a lot of insects out there in the desert Southwest. Some of the other things, well, another one I like to grow is called yard-long beans. You can see it right there, and you can see what it does. And it does a fantastic job growing out here in the desert Southwest. And what it does, well, it'll virtually cover up your whole entire surface. So I'm not sure who I'm actually throwing it back to, but hey guys, oh, who's out there? Oh, Gina. Hey Gina, what's going on with traffic out there, girl?
Well, let me tell you, my friend, thank you so much. It's always good to see you, Garden Guy. Time now